We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Keep smiling through, just like you always do, till the blue skies drive the dark clouds far away. So will you please say hello to the folks that I know? Tell them I won't be long. They'll be happy to know that as you saw me go, I was singing this song. We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day.
Like, you tell your story. So, like, how did you get into it? What was, like, leading up to World War II? Like, I guess, how do you get drafted or whatever happened?
Okay, let me start. It was right after my, I think it was my 21st or 22nd birthday in November. And then it was December that two countries got, or the war was announced. I think it was December that year. And then in February I was drafted, one of the first, incidentally. And I spent my time when they took me out in Virginia in the medical school. I was trained to be a medic. So after my medical session, I was transferred to the 1st Infantry Division. And by the time I got down there, they were getting ready to go overseas.
Oh, okay.
So I spent about 9 months then in Indian Town Gap until I was assigned to a medical corps, the 488th Port Battalion. Oh, we packed up, went into Brooklyn, got on a ship, and with a convoy we headed for Africa. We went into Italy, and guess what? Our outfit was housed in the Naples was town.
Naples.
Yeah. You know, I remember we took over the Naples University, and you know I don't know whether we chased them out or what. Well, anyhow, that's where we were. They finally chased Germans out, you know, up north, pushed them all up through there, and we stayed in.
So were you a part of that? Were you a part of, like, pushing the Germans out?
Yeah, we were a supply, see, and we had to follow the troops.
Okay, I get it. Yeah.
And that's what, and we were supplying them from the sea, the Mediterranean Sea.
Okay. So you're bringing all the supplies to
Yeah, you know, from the United States and all the way on our ship and so on. I spent about 3 years in Italy with the troops.
Oh, wow.
Until the war was over and I was discharged and all that. But I had a nice job. I was the commanding officer's chauffeur. Went home and I took advantage of the GI Bill of Rights, as they call it.
Yeah.
And went to Kutztown University and graduated.
United States Air Force, military police.
Oh wow. Okay, so and then we just like, so how did you get into that? How did you get drafted?
Drafted.
And did you go to basic training? Like, what's your story?
Basic training was Miami Beach, Florida, for 10 weeks, and then shipped out to Honolulu, Hawaii. I was there for 27 months. You see, we guarded Franklin, Roosevelt, and a few more. Their airplanes.
Wow, really?
Flying back and forth to the United States. That was uneventful.
Beautiful.
Did you ever meet President Roosevelt?
Huh?
Did you ever meet President Roosevelt?
No. Yes, I did.
Really?
Yeah. You give them around to, you know. And another one was Father Pope. And I was the United States Postal Service.
Oh wow.
And worked there for 35 years. Yeah.
Wow. And were you married before you got to the service, or was it after?
Yeah.
Yeah.
67 years we're married.
Oh, well, congratulations.
And I haven't killed him yet.
That is very good to hear.
Jim Carpenter?
James Carpenter.
James Carpenter.
Middle name Francis, and I'm a junior, although I'm not named as my father, but I carry a junior name anyway. Graduated from Conshohocken High, attended Ursinus College up in Collegeville. I enlisted in the Air Force in January of 51 or 52, I forget. I got my original draft card.
Oh wow, yeah. Let's see it, yeah.
Well, let's see if I can find it. I think I still have it. Yep, I got it. Hold on. It's a little worn up.
Oh wow. You mind if I take a picture of it?
No, not at all. There was my registration back in 49
Oh, wow.
and
Look at that.
oh, my draft card. I was drafted by the Army, but I didn't want to go in the Army.
Yeah. Flying planes is cooler, right?
Well, I wanted the Air Force, actually. Went in the, did my service time in Lackland, and then I went to Cheyenne, Wyoming.
Oh wow.
In the dead of, it was winter time.
So it's
and
cold.
It was cold. They had just activated the Air Force Base up there. And we had our own work to do in barracks, and it was coal, heat, soft coal, not hard coal, soft coal. We had a little pot and stove in the barracks, and you had to do fire duty every so many hours. There, and then I did schools, all the schools and everything I had to do. I graduated and was selected to come back to Washington. And I did that. And then I did my 6.5 years or almost 7 years. And then decided I was going to get out.
He was just a rookie trooper, and he surely shook with pride. He checked on his equipment and made sure his pack was tied. He had to sit and listen to those awful engines roar. You ain't gonna jump no more.
How did you, okay, so how did your story start? How did you get into the service?
In the service, I'll tell you, we were 5 teenagers, 15 years old. And is this going on?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. 14, 15 years old. And we all said that we were going to, and of course that was during World War II. It was like maybe 43, something like that. And we all agreed that we were going to, when we reached the age of 17, we were all going to enlist in the Navy. My parents said, no, we're not going to sign, we're not going to sign. So these are the exact words. I could still see it. All right, if I go in the Army and I get killed, I'm going to blame you. So my mother told my father, you better go with him. Because God forbid, if he's drafted and goes to the Army and gets killed, I could never, live with it. So then I got in the Navy, and I went to Sampson, New York for basic training. And then I went to, from there, went for advanced training in Newport, Rhode Island. And this is the early part of 45 was, and we had to make sure that we were not hitting any of our friendly planes. But anyhow, I'll never forget, we were at this class studying these, and then the instructor said to me, not only me, but he said, because we're 3 of us and sit alongside of each other, he said, I want you to look at the right of you, and I want you to look at the left of you, and one of you are not coming back. And I am one of the original crew on that ship, and we went to South America. We went to we stopped in Newport, Virginia. Then from there I went to Bermuda, and I went to Puerto Rico.
Oh wow, those are nice places.
Yeah. See what we were doing. We were testing our ship out. Testing our ship, and we were firing our guns. Even though the war is over, but we still had to go through to check everything.
So it was a brand new ship?
Yeah, brand new.
Wow, was it nice?
Oh, it was beautiful. we got a radiogram or telegram from the Navy Department in Washington, D.C. to go to Trieste, Italy, because at that time the Yugoslav and the Italians were fighting over the city of Trieste. We stopped in the Rock of Gibraltar.
Oh yeah.
And then from there we went to Sicily. And we went to we were in Palermo. We were loading up food and ammunition.
But so you were one of the younger people to be a part of World War II.
Oh yeah.
You're probably one of the youngest.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Yeah, because I think a lot of the people we have met are like 95, 96, like that.
Yeah,
age.
they saw action.
Yeah.
Those guys saw action.
Yeah.
I'm just grateful that I'm one of the lucky ones.
Yeah.
That came back without me.
There'll be bluebirds over the white cliffs of Dover tomorrow. Just you wait and see.
I was drafted at the age of 18.
Wow.
I served 5 months in Europe in the combat zone and 6 months of occupation duty in Japan. I served exactly 3 years and 1 week, March 13th of 1943 to March 20th of 1946. Oh, basic training. I served, it was 9 months in the infantry, 78th Division down North Carolina, but then I was able to, at the time, transfer into the Air Force or the paratroopers, a lot of them.
Uh-huh.
And we made formation to go to armor gunnery school, and they come down from the orderly room and says, all you men go back in the barracks, you're going back to the ground forces.
Wow. They wanted
So
you back
I
on the
went
ground.
back into the infantry. I was in the heavy weapons, 81 millimeter mortars.
Oh, wow.
When I first went into combat, was across from the Rhine from the Dusseldorf, Germany, and we got relieved by the 82nd Airborne. One paratrooper came to my position and a whistle go, and I ducked. He said, "What are you ducking for?" He said, "You'll know when them shells are coming down." And no true words were ever said. Next thing you know, a whistle. A wish, not a whistle. 3 shells come down. What? Directly behind. Thank God, I don't know whether the observer didn't know what the hell he was doing, but there were 3 shells went through the. But like I said, I was in the heavy weapons. We followed the rifle company.
Right.
And that was it. When if they needed support, we gave it to them, you know. It was an experience, and I grew up fast. Grew up fast.
It's a long way to Tipperary. It's a long way to go. It's a long way to Tipperary, to the sweetest girl I know. Goodbye to Piccadilly. Farewell, Leicester Square. It's a long, long way to Tipperary, but my heart's right there.
Paul E. Borchers,
And what years were you in the service?
68 to 74.
I see. Well, thank you. And what branch of the military were you in? Okay, thank you. So, do you remember why it was you joined the service?
I would have been drafted had I not enlisted. So I enlisted.
I see. Do you remember why you chose the Marines over the other branches?
A bunch of my relatives were Marines.
I see.
Uncles, my father was in the Army. I had a whole bunch of uncles who were ex-Marine, not ex-Marine, who were Marines.
Well, do you remember what your first day was of being Marine? What that was like?
It was a picnic. We arrived on the bus late at night and emptied out into a parking lot with footprints painted on the parking lot by a drill instructor. Like I said, don't forget it was the middle of the night. Paris Island is a huge facility, very lonesome place. There's a lot of anxiety, and whatnot, because they're hollering at you all the time. Just teaching pilots how to land on a carrier on the ground. The Marines had a program they called SLOTUS, Short Air Tactical Support, where they landed jets and launched jets like they do on a carrier, but they do it on a 2,000-foot runway. There's a landing signal officer. You see in movies, you see the guy with the flashlights with tubes on the end.
And that was you?
Yeah, that's where I was up in the front. My whole active duty was schooling.
I see. So were you ever in Vietnam?
No.
I see.
I stayed here and helped train the pilots.
At the time, I felt as though I wanted to go. Later on, as I got older and more mature, of course, I was grateful I didn't have to go overseas. I'm very proud that I served.
So kiss me and smile for me. Tell me that you'll wait for me. Hold me like you'll never let me go. I'm leaving on a jet plane. I don't know when I'll be back again. Oh, babe, I hate to go. There's so many times I've let you down. So many times
I was in World War II. I left San Francisco at midnight on a troop ship for the Pacific. And this troop ship we had captured from the Germans apparently in World War I. So it took us, let's see, I left at midnight on January the 31st. And it took
what
us
year? Of what year?
1943.
Okay.
So we went on a zigzag course in the Pacific. We were headed for the Philippines and also New Guinea. It took us 27 days to get there. We were going on a zigzag course to avoid Japanese submarines.
Yeah.
So we got there and we disembarked, and I was carrying a 60-pound bag on my shoulder. It was called a barracks bag. So it took me all my strength to hold myself back so I wouldn't run into the guy in front of me. So anyway, we finally disembarked, and there were some officers waiting for us, and there was an army truck waiting for us. And so I guess I was over there 2 years. I was in New Guinea and the Philippines. I saw General MacArthur in the Philippines. I saw him twice. So eventually I wound up in the Philippines. So that was
And your job was still as the finance officer, or in the?
No, I wasn't an officer. I was an enlisted man. I was a staff sergeant.
But you worked in the finance department, right? You said.
Oh yeah. In fact, I have a cap that says that on the finance.
Finance. I see.
They couldn't have caught me at a better time because I'm young, you know.
Yeah. So overall, it was a good experience.
What's that?
It was a good experience overall.
Experience?
It was a good experience.
Oh, absolutely.
And what years were you in the service?
54 to 56.
Nice.
That's 1954.
Well, I assume so.
Yeah. I was just hacking around. I wasn't pursuing any education at the time, and I wasn't doing anything. So they yanked me in, and I went for 2 years. I just went to the draft and stayed with the draft, and finally got out of it.
I see. And what did they put you in from the draft?
Military police.
I see. Part of the army then?
That was.
The army and peace?
Yeah.
Or,
Actually, a very lucky thing for me because it was interesting as hell. I was stationed in Germany, and it was right after the war. There was a lot going on, and smuggling and mostly chasing women around over there. Those guys were crazy.
So you had to keep them in line then.
Yeah, patrolling the cities of Mannheim, Heidelberg, and Ludwigshafen. Yeah. I worked with the German police, and that was a good experience. That was a tough bunch of guys. I went to France and England and Austria, Holland. I got all over Europe except for the Russian zones. I would never go back into the Army situation. If I went back in, it would be like Air Force or Navy, preferably. I didn't have a choice when you were drafted.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I said I wanted to get out. So I would have entailed 2 more years. I was looking at 2 years when I took the test, and it would have been 4 years, and I didn't want any part of that. So I got out and I took the GI Bill.
What they heard coming in on a wing and a prayer, coming in on a wing and a prayer. Though there's one motor gone, we can still carry on, coming in on a wing and a prayer.
The Korean War.
That's good. And what branch of the service were you in?
In the Army, yeah. I was in a National Guard outfit, and that was activated after the Korean War, and then we became a regular Army after that, and were sent to Camp McCoy in Wisconsin. I was in surveying, so that was my part of the thing of teaching the kids how to, surveying. This was back when there wasn't any laser beams or anything back then. We were activated in 1950 when the war started, and we were at Camp McCoy for, one winter. I guess it was probably around April of 1951. We were in the, it was called, let's see, it was sort of it was an armored field artillery, they called it. It was like a modified tank that had a 105 cannon in it. Oh yeah, I was a master sergeant, and I was due to get the other guys in line there. Yeah, there was other things to do. We moved around a lot. We weren't always like in barracks or anything. We were out in the field. The North Koreans would have infiltrators coming in. So we had like passwords and everything to help us through that. And then we had what they called parachute flares. It would go up maybe 200 feet in the air, and then the parachute would open, and then there would be phosphorus and whatever in there to make light, so that shined down where the infiltrators were. So then we could kill them. Yeah. We supported the U.S. the Marines, and then the South Korean Army also. We supported them, and all the ones that would be calling for, they needed some artillery support. Why we would do that. But then I came home and I was, came across the Pacific and so I guess a one stack transport ship, and that landed in Seattle.
You'll never know just how much I miss you. You'll never know just how much I care.
I was fortunate. I was too young for Korea and too old for Vietnam.
And what years were you in the service?
Well, the active duty, I was from 1958 November till, 1958 in May till 1960 in May, active duty. And then I had 3 years of active reserve. And land grant colleges had to have ROTC, which is, well, they have it in high school too.
They still have it, yeah.
It's called Reserve Officer Training Corps. And I had to take the ROTC for 2 years. I talked to them and I said, if you have a chance to be an officer, take it. So I took it my junior and senior year. And well, I had to go 9.5 years. I'm a civil engineer. I was commissioned in the artillery. And I went to training at Fort Sill, Oklahoma for the artillery. I was assigned after 6 months overseas. And I went over there for 18 months. It was a good experience because I got to see, in the Army you have 30 days leave each year. So it's a month out of 12 you can go and leave. And I was able to see quite a bit of Europe. So Scandinavian countries. And I also went with another soldier, officer. We went to see Belgium, France, Italy, Switzerland. There was only threaten and talk. Khrushchev at the time said, you have to get out of Berlin in 6 months. And 6 months, nothing happened. Actually, our unit, we went out on a convoy through East Germany. After my active duty of 2 years, I had to go in the Army Reserves for 3 years.
I was dancing with my darling to the Tennessee waltz when an old friend I happened to see introduced her to my loved one, and while they were dancing, my friend stole my sweetheart from me. I remember the night and the Tennessee waltz. Now I know just how much I have lost. Yes, I lost my little darling